Hello and welcome to Altcoin XP. My name is Anthony. It's been 11 days since my hair transplant and I want to talk about it. Before I start, I gotta say that I didn't receive anything to make this video. Dr. Albert doesn't know that I'm making this video, nor does he know that I have a YouTube channel. I'm making this video because I'm a happy customer of his and I want to share my experience. Okay, so first I want to talk about the procedure and the different types of procedures there are. There are two main methods for doing hair transplants. The first being the FUT method, F-U-T, and the second being the FU method, F-U-E. FU stands for follicle unit extraction and is where they individually extract follicles from the back of your head and place them in your balding areas. The second is FUT, which is follicle unit transplantation. This is where they cut a strip out of the back of your head and transplant the follicles into the front of your head or where you're balding. The main benefit of the FU method is that you won't have a scar in the back of your head. If you want to wear the sides of your hair short, this method would be preferred because you won't see the scar. Mark doesn't do the FU method and he only does the FUT method. Right now my hair is buzzed on a number 5, and later in this video I'll show you what the back of my head looks like to see if you can see the scar or not. I actually haven't looked at it yet, so we'll be finding out together. Anyway, I usually wear my hair much longer than this. Well, the sides, longer than this, and then the top maybe like that long and comb it back. And I'll usually go like 2 months between getting haircuts. So having a scar in the back of my head isn't really that big of a deal to me. And even if someone notices the scar, it's a lot less embarrassing to have a scar in the back of my head than it is to have big bald spots. Also, I try to be an open and honest person because I believe that builds stronger relationships with people. So I really have no problem with telling people about my hair transplant anyway. And another benefit of the FUT method over the FU method is the cost. Mark is actually one of the cheapest you can find. If you do a Google search, you'll see some of the cheapest cost around $3, maybe $2 to $3 per graft. And a graft is each follicle that gets transplanted. Mark charges $2.50 per graft if you get 1,000 or more grafts. And he also gives you an extra additional 100 grafts for free if you get 1,000 grafts or more. Personally, I paid $5,000 for 2,000 grafts, and the total number of grafts I received is 2,110. So that's the 100 extra for free, and then I guess there were 10 leftover grafts that he stuck in my head. Alright, so before I get into showing you some pictures, I want to talk about the professionalism and friendliness at Mark's office. Mark, Eva, and Beverly, and the rest of his staff are among the most caring and professional people I've ever met. During the procedure, my comfort was one of their top priorities. They would frequently ask me how I'm doing, if I needed to get up to stretch, or if I needed another shot of nerve blocker in my scalp if I was experiencing any pain. My comfort is generally the last thing on my mind, so it felt really good to have people around me who cared about me. And this wasn't just because they wanted my money. Their kindness continued well after I paid them. For example, Mark went as far as to give me his personal cell phone number, and he called me at 9:30 p.m. the night after my operation to check how I was doing. And the kindness also continued in my subsequent visits for my hair washes and stitches removal. Because of this, I consider Mark and his staff not just my surgeon, but also my friends. Alright, so let's see some photos. Here are a couple photos I took a week before the operation. As you can see, my hair was pretty long. I usually keep my hair much shorter than this, but I let it grow out because I'm a cheap ass and didn't want to spend money on a haircut when I knew I was going to shave it off after the hair transplant anyway. If you get a hair transplant, I recommend having your hair a lot shorter than what mine was because having long hair made it more difficult to wash after the operation. These next pictures are from the day after the operation. I laid in bed the night after the operation, so I don't have any pictures for the day of. But the day after, you go back for a hair wash, and they also put in some ointment or something over the grafts. This is definitely the most disgusting it's looked, but that didn't last long. These next pictures are of the second day after the operation, and you can see significant healing and scabbing. I was also given 10 pain pills to help deal with the pain, but I didn't find myself needing them. There was some discomfort when I rested my head on my pillow, but the areas were padded well enough that it didn't really interfere with me sleeping. They also gave me some plastic type of pillowcases to prevent any blood or oozing from getting on my pillows. Next, these pictures are from day 3 of the operation, and we can see even more healing. And this picture is from day 6. It shows the scar on the back of my head and the stitches. The area is actually much smaller than I thought it would be. I thought it would span from ear to ear across the back of my head, but it's actually only like half the width of the back of my head. And these next pictures are from day 7, and you can see that pretty much all of the redness has gone away and it's continuing to heal nicely. Around this time, my head was starting to get itchy, so this is when I began washing my hair twice a day to deal with that. Then on day 9, I started massaging my scalp gently to remove some of the scabs and crust. I was actually just going just lightly like this over the areas, and I'd do that for probably like 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to remove some of the crust and stuff. On day 10, I went back to their office to get my stitches removed. I was excited to get them removed because I really wanted to shave my head. My hair was so long that it was actually annoying me, and the stitches were preventing me from getting it cut. While I was there, they actually told me I could be more aggressive with washing my scalp and removing the crust, so they said I could really scrub at it, you know. So these pictures you see are after I got home and shaved my head, and you can see that a lot of the scars and scabs are gone now because I scrubbed them off. During shaving my head, my scalp was still really tender, so pressing the buzzer into my scalp, at times it hurt quite a bit. But as of today, day 11, the tenderness is pretty much all gone. Like, I can be pretty aggressive on my head and it doesn't hurt at all. I mean, it hurts a little, but it's really nothing. So like I said before, I shaved my head on a number 5 on the buzzer. So let's take a look at the back of my head and see if there's a scar or anything. So right here is where the scar is. I don't know if you can see it or not, but maybe if I do this. It's like right around here. I won't know if we can see it or not until I edit this video, but I don't think you can see it. So going forward, I'm told that all these little hairs will fall out, and then eventually in like another 2.5 months or so, they'll start regrowing. This is normal because the follicles are in shock until they acclimate to the new area. Also, the top of my head is still really numb. I read this is because of nerve damage, and that'll also go away in a couple months. I can already tell that it's not as numb as it was a couple days ago. So that's it. That's my experience up until day 11 of getting a hair transplant with Dr. Mark Albert. I really don't think the procedure could have went any better than this, as well as the healing. I don't think it could have gotten any better as well. So I also really highly recommend Dr. Mark Albert, not just because of his cost, but because he's so professional and kind and caring, and everything went so well. I'm really happy about that. If I were to do this again, I would definitely have my hair shorter before going into the operation, just because it would make it a lot easier to wash my hair. Like when my hair was long, I was being like really gentle to not move anything around, so I wasn't scrubbing hard or anything. But yeah, that's it. So I consistently make YouTube videos, although they're not going to be about my hair transplant specifically, But feel free to reach out, ask me any questions, leave any comments, and check my future videos for any progress. I'll also post on like Instagram or something of the progress too. And if you want a specific picture, just let me know and I'll get you a picture of that. So like and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. Follow me on all social media. And you can also donate Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Dash to the addresses both on screen and in the video description. Thank you, take care, and goodbye.